was he is suspended until they conclude investigation on some of the allegations against him. So are you looking at this as outright removal?
The law is not talking about, and that if you listen to what the federal government said, they said he has been removed. Somebody is acting, and a name has been sent. Somebody has been named who will be sent to the Senate. So that chapter is closed. No, as far as it is concerned, the man is off.
We thought that
so
somebody is acting.
Is that the law that establishes Central Bank of Nigeria clearly states how a CBN governor should be removed. There is no shortcut to it. Go through the main line. Remove him normally. We won't have these quarrels. We won't have these disagreements. And that's exactly what we're saying in the House of Representatives.
Right. We're saying
to third majority, the crafters of the law are very clear. Nowhere where it's stated that you will be suspended. The law is very clear about the remover. Mr. President has the powers to remove. However, in removing, he must be supported by two-third majority. The crafters of the law are very, very clear, and they are very, very particular because they don't want you to sit down and, as a president, to abuse the law. And that's why they said, at least if they think that Mr. President's actions are not right, then they will be sent to a neutral body that would support Mr. President's action. Oh, on this grounds, on that ground, I am relieving him of his appointment. Then two-third majority votes will come in, the ayes will have it, and the man will be removed clearly. This is not about Sanusi, it's about the institution called CBN. There were people who were CBN governors before him, and there will be people after him. But we're talking about that institution. It needs to be strengthened, it needs to be protected, so that investments and would-be investors will look at Nigeria as an haven for investment. So because
from Hope for you here, he says, how can a CBN governor be brought to book if found to be corrupt while still in office?
Our laws are very clear. You can approach the courts. No, there's no law saying that the CBN governor has immunity. The CBN governor is not the governor of any country or any state of Nigeria where you say, okay, he has immunity. He does not have immunity. If you have laws and you have concrete evidence, take him to court and let the courts decide. And let me tell you something. It will strengthen our jurisprudence. Lawyers, judges will have precedents to quote and will be stronger for it. Take him to court, bring up these cases, and of course, the court will now interpret, the court will not at least pronounce him guilty, then of course, we would at least be having a precedence on ground. So, why not approach the courts?
Well, you do admit that in cases of investigation where the person is still is holding the substantive position, it becomes a little difficult to investigate such an individual. Do you agree on that point?
Yeah, to some extent. You know, let me tell you something. No matter how, the moment you want to cover with your hands, no matter how lengthy your hands are or large your hands are to cover, as long as they're not the truths, some other facts will come out. So you can only, and when you're economical with the truth, it can only last for a while. It cannot last forever. And what I'm trying to draw out there is that even if one is on a seat, the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria will have other ways of getting this information aside from even the conventional ways. And I believe that those sources are available to Mr. President for him to have all that he wants to have. The President is a creation of law. And that whether you like it or not, the President has so much information about every institution than every other ordinary Nigerian on the street. So that way, the institution or the person of the CBN governor, if found guilty, let him face the laws of the land. Let the institution remain, because he's gone today, tomorrow some other person will sit there. Let the person have peace of mind to be able to at least administer or run the economy in conjunction with other team members of the economy, so that Nigeria will be the best for it.
Just a moment. Do you think that this is devoid of politics? Because here the House of Reps is not satisfied with the procedure that has been followed, yet the Senate, from what we hear, seems to be okay with Mr. President's decision. And they have more of a say in this particular, in the matter of appointment, you know, or disappointment of any individual. Do you think that this is devoid of politics here?
Mokwe, I must say that when political era, yeah, politics, but the politics of it to be put aside. But I can't remember a formal letter written to the Senate, read on the floor of the Senate, informing them about the removal of the CBN governor and whether a vote has been taken on that. 1, 2, 3 senators have come out to say they have not even discussed it on the floor of the Senate. The opinions that some senators are expressing are personal. And of course, unless that happens on the floor of the House and the Senate spokesman come on to talk on behalf of other members, that is when you say the Senate has taken a position. But of course, we in the House have taken a position. There was a vote that we have nothing wrong with the removal of Mr. Sanusi. We are only faulting the procedure. And that's exactly what the House came up with on Thursday, if you remember. So politics, the politics of it might not, I am not even concerned about the politics of it, but I am concerned about, always concerned about the institutions, protection of the institutions, strengthening them, so that at the end of the day, our economy will be the best for it. You cannot operate the law in a selective manner. If you are sending the same name for rectification to Senate, you should at least be cautious enough to send this removal to the Senate as well. Because either way, it's the same institution that will approve or disapprove.
The investigation of Mr. Sanusi began in the month of about March or April. Now, the report from the FIC came in around July. It was dated July 2013. And the accusations there appeared grave. Are you saying the president should have waited for the processes to go through before he suspends?
No, I can't get you right. Can you come again?
The report of the Financial Reporting Council is dated July 2013. It goes back to talk about a letter that was written in May about issues that began in March, investigations that began in March and April. Are you saying that the House thinks the president should have waited until the tenure is over? Chamberlain asked you that question. Wouldn't that look like victimization?
Yeah, if I get you right, let me just take it off from here. If I'm getting you right, what the saying is that we are not what do you call it? We are not soothsayers in the House of Representatives. Mr. President has his own operations, and of course, what we're saying, and that's exactly what I would keep repeating, that all that they have said about Mr. Sanusi, we are not counsels to him. We are not saying yes, he did it, yes, he did not do it. Financial Council came out, reports are there. We're not saying we have any issues with that. But what we're talking about is the fact that the procedure, and that's what I keep saying, the procedure, that we're faulting the procedure. If the top majority of the Senate has supported this removal, we won't be speaking this grammar. But why we're concerned is that we created the act as a parliament. If the act is not being obeyed in whatever sense, we would have issues with it. Whether the report has been given to him since July or not, it is not what it's our matter. What is our matter is that if somebody has been accused of misconduct, or you are satisfied that this person is not fit to be in that office, of course the law has given you power to remove him. Then the law still goes further to say, provided it is so, it shall be supported. The word is even shall. Shall in law means compulsion. Shall, it's not may. If it's may, you can waver around it. He said it shall be supported by the top majority of the Senate. So we're saying that why not go through that? This is a government that has preached due process. We believe that let the due process follow everywhere. So at the end of the day, we'll have tidied up. We wouldn't have been speaking on his removal. It will have just been that on the task ahead of the new CBN governor. Those are the issues. That's the way, if I get you right, that's my own take on it.
All right, well, we'll come back and continue with that train of thought. Just give us a moment. We'll be back.